On the morning of January 24, 2024, tragedy struck in Toledo, Ohio. 34-year-old Tameisha Price, who was 8 months pregnant, was found lifeless around 5 a.m. on Norton Place. She had been eagerly preparing to welcome her baby girl, whom she had already named lled Price. However, the joy of impending motherhood was overshadowed by turmoil in her relationship. Her husband, unwilling to have another child, had pressured her repeatedly to terminate the pregnancy. When she refused, what should have been a time of anticipation and love turned into an unthinkable crime, one that involved not just the man she trusted but also his accomplices. This heartbreaking story sheds light on the devastating consequences of betrayal and violence. Before we continue, we extend our deepest condolences to Tameisha's family, friends, and all those affected by this senseless act. Toledo, a city known for its rich industrial history, also grapples with high crime rates. While it has thriving communities, certain areas face ongoing struggles with violence, including thefts, assaults, and shootings. It was in this very city, amidst both progress and challenges, that Tameisha Price built her life. Born on May 22, 1989, in Toledo, Ohio, Tameisha Price, affectionately called Misha by loved ones, was the youngest and only daughter in a family of 4 children. Raised by her parents, Tyler and Stacy Price, she grew up surrounded by love and support. She attended Rogers High School and later Apostolic Christian Academy before pursuing a career in the medical field at Herzing University, reflecting her deep commitment to helping others. Tameisha's passion for making a difference extended beyond healthcare. She dedicated herself to youth and community work, holding administrative roles at Sunbridge Charter and AE Charter schools. As a lead case manager at New Concepts, she worked tirelessly to empower young people, encouraging them to reach their full potential. But her drive and compassion didn't stop there. Her life was filled with faith, service, and a deep love for her family. A devoted Christian, Tameisha was actively involved in her church community, first at Pinewood Tabernacle Church and later at Upton United Methodist Church and Life Changes Church. She found joy in music, participating in youth choirs and church events. Yet, behind her warm presence and active life, she faced personal struggles that many never saw. In her early 20s, she entered a serious relationship filled with hope and dreams for the future. Over time, she and her partner welcomed 2 sons, Jaden Kezin and Leslie Michael, who became the center of her world. As they grew, Tameisha supported their passions. Jaden excelled in drumming, while Leslie pursued basketball. Their father, recognizing Jaden's talent, encouraged his musical journey with frequent lessons, ensuring he honed his skills. Meanwhile, as her children thrived, Tameisha sought to create even greater opportunities for herself and her family. Tameisha Price was a woman of ambition, turning her love for fashion, shopping, and travel into a thriving creative pursuit. She found joy in showcasing her style through content creation, using it as an outlet to express her personality and passion. From the outside, it seemed as though she had built the perfect life, until everything began to unravel. Over time, the strain in her relationship grew, and the weight of balancing motherhood with a troubled partnership became overwhelming. Eventually, Tameisha made the difficult yet courageous decision to walk away, choosing to build a better future for herself and her children. Instead of letting heartbreak define her, she redirected her energy toward rebuilding her life, pouring herself into her career in education and youth services while ensuring Jaden and Leslie had the stable, loving home they deserved. During this period of transition, she met Paris James. Despite his past, which included multiple run-ins with law enforcement, Tameisha saw something in him that gave her hope. She believed in second chances, and Paris admired her resilience, dedication to her children, and commitment to her community. Their relationship flourished, and for a time, it seemed like Tameisha had found love again. By late 2023, their bond had led to an exciting new chapter. Tameisha discovered she was expecting a daughter. Overjoyed, she carefully chose a name for her baby girl, lled Price. She saw this pregnancy as a blessing, a new beginning filled with hope and happiness. But beneath the surface, cracks had begun to form in her relationship with Paris, cracks that would soon turn into deep fractures. Paris was not ready for fatherhood, and instead of embracing the pregnancy, he responded with accusations. He openly questioned whether the child was his, casting doubt and making degrading remarks. For Tameisha, this was both painful and shocking. She had been faithful, and there was no reason for such suspicions. Yet, she refused to let his doubts overshadow her joy. Determined to celebrate her daughter's upcoming arrival, Tameisha planned a baby shower, setting the date just a month before her due date. This was not her first child, but she wanted to make the occasion special. She had no idea that this joyful celebration would be one of the final moments of happiness before her world came crashing down. As Tameisha eagerly prepared for her baby shower, some may have questioned her decision given the growing tension in her relationship with Paris. But she refused to let his negativity overshadow her excitement. Unbeknownst to her, a far darker fate was being set in motion, one that would turn her joy into an unimaginable tragedy. In the days leading up to the event, Paris became increasingly distant, his anger flaring up for no apparent reason. While Tameisha was making plans to celebrate new life, Paris was making plans to end hers. Alongside his friend Jerry Scott and Jerry's girlfriend, Chatua Triplet, he devised a sinister plot, one that would come to pass in the most horrifying way. On the morning of January 24, 2024, at around 5 a.m., the quiet neighborhood near the 5300 block of Norton Place in Toledo was jolted awake by the sound of gunfire. Concerned neighbors quickly called the police. Upon arrival, officers found 34-year-old Tameisha Price lying motionless on the ground, riddled with gunshot wounds. Despite the desperate efforts of emergency responders, she was pronounced dead at the scene. But the most gut-wrenching detail of that morning? Tameisha's two sons, Jaden and Leslie, had witnessed the entire horrific event unfold right before their eyes. As the investigation progressed, disturbing details came to light. Just before dawn, Paris and Jerry had arrived at Tameisha's home, armed and determined to confront her. What was supposed to be a conversation quickly spiraled into chaos. Paris accused Tameisha of betrayal, threatening her with violence if she did not submit to his demands. Jerry, standing by as an enforcer, escalated the confrontation with aggressive taunts. Terrified and desperate to escape, Tameisha turned to retreat into her home. But before she could make it to safety, Paris pulled out his weapon and fired multiple shots at her. Jerry, acting as his accomplice, ensured that no one could interfere. The gunfire echoed through the streets, marking the tragic end of Tameisha and her unborn daughter, Malaysia Price. Tameisha's death sent shockwaves through her family and community. The Toledo Police Department swiftly launched an investigation, piecing together evidence and witness testimonies. Within days, 3 suspects were identified: Paris James, Tameisha's boyfriend, charged with aggravated murder; Jerry Scott, an accomplice, also facing multiple counts of aggravated murder and felony assault; Chatua Triplet, charged with obstructing justice after providing a false alibi for James and Scott, an attempt that investigators soon disproved. A grand jury indicted the 3 suspects, marking the beginning of a legal battle to bring justice for Tameisha and Malaysia. What was meant to be a celebration of life had ended in a senseless act of violence. And now, as the case unfolds, those responsible must answer for their actions. Authorities charged the 3 suspects with multiple felony counts, including obstructing justice. Court documents revealed that all 3 were involved in the homicide of Price, whose unborn child was also killed in the shooting. Detectives stated that Scott played a role in both the planning and execution of the crime. Additionally, the documents indicate that Triplet, identified as James's live-in girlfriend, provided a false alibi for him, an alibi that was later disproved. Following an extensive investigation, Paris, Jerry, and Triplet were indicted on multiple charges, including 5 counts of aggravated murder, 4 counts of murder, 1 count of aggravated burglary, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. As the case unfolded, one haunting question remained. What led to this horrific chain of events? And would justice be served for Tameisha and her unborn child? Friends and family of Tameisha disclosed ongoing tensions in her relationship with James, though the exact nature of their conflicts remains unclear. When the indictments were announced, her loved ones experienced a bittersweet mix of relief and sorrow. Relief that the suspects had been identified and sorrow over the devastating loss of a young mother filled with promise. In the wake of Tameisha's tragic death, conversations about domestic violence and gun violence spread across the Toledo community. Advocates and local leaders called for increased awareness and better support for victims. Vigils were held to honor Tameisha's memory, with loved ones sharing stories of her dedication to her children and her community. Would her story inspire change and help prevent future tragedies? Determined to keep her memory alive, Tameisha's family stood firm in their pursuit of justice. Friends organized events supporting domestic violence awareness and local charities that assist women in similar situations. The question lingered: would her legacy bring lasting change? This is the story of a man who took the life of his pregnant girlfriend, ending 2 lives in a moment of senseless violence. Subscribe to our channel, share, like, and comment. See you next time.